I was punished once for something that I did not do. And the interesting thing about this was probably well over 60 years ago that this happened, but it's still fresh in my mind. And so from that, you've determined this happened when I was a child. And there have been other times in my life through my adulthood where I've been accused of things that I did not do, or maybe something was said that would somehow or another affect me financially, and it was false. And all of these things are very tender in your heart when they happen to you. And I know Scripture tells us to forgive, and I have sought to do that. But it doesn't mean that the incident completely leaves your mind. Well, we've been looking at the Proverbs this week because I told you sometimes I just like to just read them and make application when possible. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Now, when we're talking about a false balance, obviously we're talking about some type of a scale. Well, life very much has to do with a lot of scales, because whenever we're dealing with something that has to do with relationships and something that was done that would harm and trying to seek forgiveness, then there's that thing called seeking somebody out and say, look, I did this, and I am confessing that I did this, and I hurt you. And now I apologize to you, and I ask that you would forgive me. Now, just because that I took the steps to go and apologize and seek forgiveness does not mean that the person that I am asking forgiveness of is going to grant me forgiveness. So that's where the balance of the scales come out. Because when I was holding this back and I was refusing to go and try to make rectification, then that balance was all on me, because I did it and I was not sorrowful for it, and I did not seek forgiveness, and so it was all on me. But when I go, or you go, or whoever is offended and whoever is involved in a situation like this, when that person goes and makes the effort to right the scales, to say, I forgive you, would you please forgive me? And that person responds and says, yes, I know you wronged me, but I choose to forgive you. And at that point, the scales balance out. But if the person refuses to forgive, all of a sudden the scales begins to go on their side. So you see, whenever we do something that we know is wrong, we need to go deal with it. And we need to ask forgiveness. But I know that when somebody asks for forgiveness, forgiveness is a hard thing to come to, but it's necessary. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.